All right, so let's just dive into exactly how you're going to go live on TikTok. Typically, you're going to be inside your profile. At the bottom screen, you see that plus sign. I want you to go ahead and tap on that plus sign. When you tap on that plus sign, it's going to open up right here. At the bottom of your screen, you see something that says post. And if you slide, it'll say templates. And if you slide one more time, it's going to say live. This is where most of the time you'll start your lives. Now, let's go ahead and I'm going to go through the different parts of the screen for you here. At the top where you see that image, that's where you can change your picture if you like. You could customize it for the specific live if you like, and you'd like to do that. Totally up to you. Right next to it where it says JLab, you're gonna see a little pencil. This is where you're gonna actually title your live. Titling your live lets people know if they're looking and searching what the live might be about. So make it as much as the main thing you're gonna be talking about. Just know that when you change that title, if you then go out of your live as you're setting up for something to check on something, for example, when you come back, it's gonna default to the last one you did. So the last thing I do before I start a live is change that title. Now, below that, you're going to see something that says daily life. If you tap on that, where it says daily life, this is where you're going to add your topic. So you want to pick the topic that's going to be the closest to what you are going to be selling or talking about. I never choose none. None is way too, it's way too vague. So I would recommend if you can't find a category that works for you, a topic, at the very least, go ahead and choose daily life. Okay. Now, next to that, that's where you can add a live goal. I recommend doing this. There's people who want to watch you, want to support you, but maybe they just want to buy what you're offering, but they want to do something to be active, and they may want to give you some gifts. So you'll pop in here, and where you see a little pencil, you see where it says chili and then 0 to 50, there's a pencil right there. If you tap on the pencil, it'll open up different goals. I typically choose one that's like 1 coin, which is equivalent to about 1 American penny. And I just confirm that goal so that if people want to contribute, that's great, because when they contribute, TikTok sees, oh, there's money being spent in this room, and they like that. I'm going to tap on confirm. Okay, next thing, let's go down to about the bottom third of your screen. This is where a lot of little things are that you will want to make sure that you are kind of tooling around with. If you want to flip, for those of you doing faceless, the best way I would say to do faceless is just to flip the camera. And the reason I say that is because then you'll be able to still see the screen and maneuver the screen, but look at whatever you're looking at. So that flip on the top left-hand corner of those icons will let you do that. On enhance, you're probably not going to be using enhance very much for what you're doing here, unless you want to change your eyes. But think about it this way. You want yourself to look as authentic as possible because people want to believe you and trust you. But you may use enhance a little bit later when you're actually live. There's some features that show up only when you're live, and I'll show you those in a minute. Same thing with effects. Probably not going to morph your face unless it makes sense for what you're doing. So let's hop over to the fourth icon, which is settings. With settings, if you do have a moderator, you would add your moderator here. My only mod right now is myself, my other account. That's a great way to be able to quickly do something on that other phone or your other app if you have that available. But this is where you'll add your mods. So practice mode is something that I think is really underutilized, which works very nicely. Right before you get started, it never hurts to go ahead and go live and use the practice mode. That kind of gets the jitters out, make sure things are looking the way that you want them, and then you can move forward. About me is also something that we sleep on, y'all, and that is your introduction. So whenever someone slides into your live, whether it's their first time or they leave and they come back, it's going to have an introductory message for them. Do look at that from time to time. And if you know, for example, you're specifically going to be spending time working or focusing on a certain something like, say, vibration plates or headphones, you could put the information you want people to know right there, and that's just going to help with their communication. That's something I could work on doing more as well too. Just know that once you do it, you do need to submit it so TikTok can approve it and make sure that it meets their guidelines. Okay, in settings, other than that, you may kind of toggle along with the content disclosure. Just know that if you're starting a live and you don't have any products in your showcase and then you add them later, you do need to toggle that on, because whenever you're selling products, that disclosure statement needs to be on. If you're adding products ahead of time, it's automatically going to toggle on for you, so you do not need to worry about that. All right, so there are your settings. Most settings you'll kind of focus on. If you want to do a dual camera shot, you'll be able to do a dual camera shot in that way, and I'll just kind of tap on the dual. Let me get you over here. So a dual camera shot would be a little moment so with dual camera, this is where you can be part of the screen but you're also going to show the product. So you can see right here, you can choose a rectangle or a circle. So right now you see a lot of me, not a lot of the product. Do you see where it says dual camera layout right there? I tap on that little circle and rotate it because really it's more about the product than me. So I could showcase the headphones, but then be talking so you can still see the face. For those of you who don't like Faceless, or maybe you love Faceless, but you do realize there's some value for people seeing your expressions, this is a good way to do it. If I choose circle, it's just gonna change it around. By the way, you can move the circle around, so you can move it to the ideal spot, and you can make it bigger, and you can make it smaller, same with the square. To get out of dual mode, you're just gonna tap on dual mode again, and then you'll choose that none, and that will take it away. Now, one thing you need to remember when you're doing that, if you leave this screen up and then you take off dual mode, it's gonna be flipped. So what I typically do is I flip it first and then I will take the dual mode off. Okay, it's just a little pro tip. You'll get used to it. It'll be good. And if it's not perfect, that's awesome. People don't like perfection. They like real. Okay, so then you also have the share button. I don't usually share ahead of time, but you will see that share button will show up on the bottom of your screen when you go live. There's times where you might want to share out your live with other people. Other than that, those are your big things there, except for products. We can't forget products. So before you start your live, you do want to add your products. Better to do it that way because once you go live, TikTok's automatically starting to look at who should I send to your room, and people are wondering what's going on in your room. So on the third where it is on my phone at least, is going to be the third row, and then the second